Nairobi.
Our conversation continues for the next 20 minutes with Marion Mwangi, the Group CEO of the Standard Group PLC.
So, like we said, Marion, media into a space where, things have been difficult in the landscape for the last, as things went from traditional media practice towards a new kind of media practice where things are starting to go digital, and we're still operating in a space where traditional advertising, for example, was the go-to. And they're having to make shifts and pivots, all the new language that has come about. And you're going into a space where then being able to make money has been difficult. Being able to track things has been difficult. And the question is, coming into this space, what is your outlook? What's your plan to say, this is how we're going to bring things together and try to see how we can turn around things? Because, that's one thing you mentioned, being in a situation where things can turn around. What's that thing, essentially, that you would apply or that you would see that how you'd be able to work through with the teams that are currently on ground?
The view and the insights that I have from being here over the last 7 days and preparing to come has been, how do you transition to digital, and how do you transition to what the consumer needs, or what the market has asked for or demanded for a long time, and that's generally the work that's on now, understanding what does digital mean in every aspect in the way we deliver news from different platforms. So I'm in this discovery stage, and I've had views on how important it is to transition digital quickly, and also how important it is to provide still a generation that wants to hold a paper or a book.
Yeah.
And the phase after this, and maybe the next couple of weeks, will be, okay, who are the stakeholders, and how do we engage those to actually see value from the eyes of those that are looking for us. But it is not lost to me that the competition and the difficulty in this space is really, really high. Actually, much more than I thought coming through the door. And there must be a way to change it. Ideation is normally not an individual journey; it's a team journey, and I will tap into slices of the company that already have the answers, and slices of experts, that would have the answer, and then lead. Because I think leading is the calling right now. Putting people together and getting their idea to action faster is part of my biggest goal. So day 7, I must come back when I have the full plan.
Yeah.
But I would be lying if I say that I have the exact plan. But the understanding is clear, and I'm very, very happy about what I'm hearing, because everybody is being very open, and very, they're speaking danger. So nobody's saying, oh, it's okay. They're saying it's bad, very bad. And I like that in this room we have some humor,
Yeah.
Even in these times, there's humor. There's no problem in the world that cannot be resolved.
Indeed.
There's none. And people have done this before. We just learn from them and just curate our own success stories.
It's interesting because it's almost like a Messiah moment, is it not? You must have a lot of expectation on your shoulders in terms of responsibility, because like we said, there are folks who are saying it's bad, and it's a difficult thing.
Yeah.
But and again, because it's public, a lot of what has happened is very public in nature. Right. Everybody knows, everybody knows that the linen is out there. So then to say, okay, well, here's the Messiah, Marion, who's going to come and, essentially sanitize everything. There's issues of payments. People are waiting. Those who've come and gone are saying, okay, we've not been paid. Those who've been, we've not been paid. Those who are saying, well, it's been a while since we've been paid. And the question is, okay, so how is all of that essentially going to be sorted out? It's the Messiah moment, Marion.
Yeah,
You know?
and the pressure is on. I feel it. But more than that, I've seen the people's faces. I feel the urgency, and I'm with everyone in terms of, you know, what is it that they've faced and still come to work and still delivered good products. So the pressure is on. I'm certainly not the Messiah,
Well, yeah.
but I bring a lot of goodwill and a strong belief that that there's a lot that can be done when people work together, and there's a lot that can be done when the problem is clearly defined. And it's not on employees, and I know it's stakeholders as well. So the pressure is on. I mean, the way that I deal with pressure, because that's what you find in a turnaround, is to get the facts and not let it weigh me down too much that I cannot be able to rise.
Correct, yeah.
In fact, the true marking of what leadership is how you rise from failure. So how many times do you rise? And those who haven't fallen may not know, or those who fall and stay down. So I don't fall and stay down. I fall and stand up. And there's a lot of failure.
You know, segueing from Ndu's comment and the labeling of the Messiah, you see, a righteous man, the Bible says, falls 7 times and rises 7 times. And that is if one gets biblical. But there's something you mentioned about people who've mentored you, and you singled out someone by the name of Jane Karuku. She's not the only one who mentored you.
Oh, that's true, for sure. That's not.
Yes, and the people who mentored you have brought you to this position where you are the first lady, the first woman to actually lead a media house in this country. First day, we've not had another one.
No, we've had
Who?
Rose Kimodo, Linda Holt, and others. Publicly listed major media houses.
Eric, that is the beautiful thing of details.
Yes.
Publicly listed media house we've never had.
Yes.
Yes. So you are the first. Now, tell us a little bit about how the role that has been played by the mentors you've had in your life and how it is it got you to this place where you not only want to be a problem solver, but you want to be someone who turns around problems and makes them into gardens of Eden, so to speak.
Yeah, I like your words. Words there. In fact, let me start from very, very far. The women we've seen as we grew up, our grandmothers. My mother is a strong matriarch who solves problems in a relaxed way, big problems. My paternal grandmother. I mean, the women that I've seen growing up, because they lead by example. They speak less, but they lead by example, and they face a lot of difficulty. So I've had those. And then in my career, there's been a tribe of women. You know, Lina Githuka, the MD of Qual, Rita Kavashe, the Isuzu CEO, a fantastic and light friend. I mean, who brings light into when something is really, really heavy. I could mention all the fast forward women that have been in the Sunny Bindra program, where we've just been vulnerable and called each other wise fools. So that tribe of people, and there's many. I've got Esther Muhaki, who I worked with at Nestle, and many others. And then I've got young people because I've got mentors around me who are young. Either through the Palmas Foundation, a foundation that I've been for 18 years, just doing humanitarian work on kids who wouldn't go to school if the foundation didn't pay, and the ladies there and how strong they are. And then my nieces, you know, Wendy, Jerry, they just say, Auntie, honestly, don't say that in public, and I still do. But they
Wendy, Jerry,
yeah, you
have been mentioned in public.
Yes.
Against your own advice.
Yes, I've got Shani, Modoni. I've got many nieces that are you know, wonderful and open ones. But in the space of people who have been there, there's the global CEO of Cadbury. I met her personally. Do I say?
Yes.
And just her calmness in the midst of takeovers and shutting down businesses around the world is an enduring memory. So there's certainly a lot of people that have been there, and who have actually come to me and said, "We're here waiting," and I'm recruiting more. I hope I can recruit and do right now to that tribe of women, because we support each other in a way that men will probably not understand, including.
Eric, have you heard that?
Yeah. Men support each other as well, but sorry guys,
not in this way.
we go deep. we go deep.
Yeah.
I see after this. Yeah. yes.
So there's a lot that has happened to you to make you the person that you are.
Oh yeah.
And then taking on those roles that are big when you go into a company and you've got to make the tough decisions. Some of those decisions will have to be painful to some people, but then will have to be important and fruitful to the organization, and maybe later to the same people to whom it was painful earlier. Those are decisions that you have to make, you have to live with on a daily basis, and you have to understand what's the heritage that I'm carrying, what is this organization, what does it stand for, what's the culture around here, how do I carry on the good things, and then maybe the ones that are not working, find a way to cut them off. The Standard Group, like you said, is the oldest media house in this region. It has heritage. It has culture. When you talk about Africa being the frontier, the next place where everybody in the world will be looking to, some of the places that they have to look through is the media in these places. So the Standard Group has got to be the one that they look at and see, this one tells us the story of what this continent is all about and the aspirations of the generations in this continent. So it's got to, I'm sure you have that pressure that you've got to make sure that this thing survives.
Yes.
That this thing does not die. You're not doing one of those jobs where you've come to shut down the organization.
It's
You
not,
have come to make
it's not euthanasia.
No, I'm not a mortician for
You're not a
yeah,
mortician
not
for
at
this
all.
particular organization. But then there's a lot that's changing, like Ndu was saying earlier. So you're seeing the media landscape is changing. The consumption habits of the consumers are changing. The advertising habits of the traditional advertisers, when you're at Cadbury, when you're at, you are advertising in a different way than
sure.
they are advertising now. And you've got to find a way that the Standard Group still fits in that. The political landscape keeps changing. The government now says, well, how do we advertise through the media? We have to have different ways of advertising or even different ways of paying the media. So there are very many things that are changing in this landscape. And you have the role of making sure that the big media house does not collapse so that the other small media houses also survive. Okay. Then 100 days. What do you want us to ask you? Because we'll invite you here for after the 100 days, after the 3 months of you sitting and doing the deep learning, and after you've learned, what do you want us to ask you?
Eric, let me first address that. What the burdenness, because then I want to live here with less burdened, because I also have an objective. The thing about turnarounds is that there's people who may leave the business or who may join. But what I've found in the many times that I've done this sort of work is just to give people dignity. And dignity is in many forms because it means different things to different people. People just want to know, to have to be told honestly, and also to be given some humanness. I want to claim it like as women we do have that humane way of doing tough things, but we do tough things and leave people feeling dignified. Because the last thing you want to do is destroy a man, destroy a woman, destroy a family, and leave them with no option but to just stay down. So they need to just rise up 8 times if they've fallen 7. But then in the next 100 days when I come back, I would like to just share the priorities, the situation, and the hope around the space which we are in, even now, and what is to be done. and what I've gathered from the deep dives into what the actual situation is, and the root causes and how we will address them. Not long conversations, but what would be the top 3 or top 4 things that we will do. But even as I'm here, I'd like to ask for support from these corporates, all the stakeholders, to allow the business to thrive, to allow the business to stand up. Because we are going into sports now, so don't knock a man when they're down. Just let them stand up, because when they stand up, the whole society will benefit. This company that's been here a long time, when we stand up, the entire society will benefit. So when I come knocking at doors of the corporates, of banks, all the people who we interact with, I will be hoping that they will see us in that light, that our intention is to rise up, and to rise up strong, and the whole society will benefit. So that's what I would come and say in 100 days. And they can start doing that now. I'm going to wait for 100 days.
Already?
Just already support us.
Brian Wiseman says, I like her already.
Yes.
Brian Wiseman says, I like her already.
Yeah.
Now, speak to the other stakeholders, because we have got the advertisers, you've got the other partners who have worked with this organization, who may be sitting back and thinking, from what we are seeing in the media, in the blogs, what we are seeing about this organization, we are just not sure how to engage with this organization. What do you tell them? I know you've just passed on a slight message. Now speak to them directly. What would you like to take the major stakeholders that have supported this business over the very many years?
Is to tell them the lights are on, and we want to switch. They're not switched off, because intentionally not off, and we do need that extra. Is it leniency or just
Grace?
Grace. Yes, grace. I like the word grace. The biggest leader, and the leader that I emulate from is it was Jesus himself. I mean, he was like a fantastic leader, allowing everybody to be who they are, and still calling them to a message that we still believe today. Just give us grace, trust that we want to succeed. I have had a history of great success. I wouldn't have come here by error. I evaluated this decision, and people also trust people. But this organization is going to rise. And for the other advertising agencies, come, let's have conversations on how we can work together, even now, on helping, on coming together. A giant doesn't fall quietly, so you don't want us to break the whole floor and nobody can walk afterwards. So let's come together. My office is open, and really open to people who want to come and express frustration, but also who want to move forward to another era or another era, depending on where you come from, of sustaining and doing the right thing, correcting the wrongs, keeping what is good, and taking another corner or turning around the bus to another destination.
The government is a big stakeholder.
Yes.
Let's address the government directly.
Yes.
Government owes us money.
Huge.
A lot of
Lots
money.
I suppose the government is also in a situation. I have. I said earlier, I love my country, so and I love my government, because the government also needs to be successful for all of us to be successful. So I also empathize with them. So I ask them also to empathize with us in many ways, including what you've mentioned, Eric, but also in just allowing us our freedoms, allowing us to be the voice of society in the way that we want to be, and knowing that when they also do well, we do well. So we're hoping the government also does very well.
We are also applying that 1,000-day principle here. Because there's a word that Kenyans use, kuzoyana.
Right.
If we let that 1,000-day lapse and we do not communicate to all these people we deal with, and the issues that we have are not communicated, it'll be lost in time.
You're right, City. And that's probably why we do a roadshow. I'm going to top stakeholders as soon as they're mapped to say the same things I'm saying to you today, and to be consistent in the amount of resilience that we've built, or I have built, or the company has, because of being here for such a long time. So it will not lapse before some action is done, and if it's painful, it will be with dignity. Yeah.
Lambeck says, if, like you said, the shop is open, it means that there's something to sell. Yes, indeed, there is something to sell.
Yes.
And he says, good luck to you. Many of the comments that have come in wishing you all the best and saying, yes, the 1,000 days, the journey, it's a tough job that you've taken, but you decided, I want to get in there and find out what the issue is and see if I can do it. All the best.
Thank you very much.
See you back
Eric.
here in the next...
100 days.
No. 93 days. You're on your 7th.
Yeah, 93 and a half. This morning is gone.
Yes, the one is gone.
Yeah.
Marion Mwangi is the Group CEO of the Standard Group PLC. She's given us our first interview to introduce her to the public as well. And keep it here for more conversations. 9 a.m.